Thank you all for joining for our August Family Room webinar. Welcome back to those that were with us last month, and a warm welcome to all the new families that are joining us today. We are truly glad that you're here. In this month's webinar, we're going to be looking at the economics behind aging in place, the value it creates for families and communities, and how home care is transforming to meet the new needs of generations of older adults. We're going to walk through real case studies, practical strategies, and emerging innovations that are already making a measurable difference in people's lives. So my name is Priscilla Goldston, and I oversee customer support at our Central Maryland location. I also serve as one of our certified senior advisors. At the end of this webinar, there is a chat box that I have set up. I will send a message in it now so that you are aware of where it's at. If any questions come up during this webinar or towards the end of it, feel free to send them in the message box and I will go over them at the end. My goal today is to give you a clear, actionable insight on how modern home care prevents crisis, reduces healthcare utilization, and its support through long-term well-being. Whether you're family, caregiver, a professional, or someone who simply wants to understand the future of aging, you're in the right place. Let's dive in and explore how thoughtful, science-aligned home care is creating real-life transformations every day. So, aging in the 2020s is fundamentally different from aging even a decade ago. And we're witnessing one of the most significant shifts in human longevity in modern history. Today's older adults are living longer. They're also living with a completely new set of expectation preferences, and their needs are reshaping how we think aging, independence, and quality of life. Longevity is no longer defined solely by medical advancements. It is now shaped by a powerful combination of technology, behavioral science, personalized home-based care models, and supportive ecosystems that are adapting to the individual. Older adults are redefining what it means to age well. They are wanting control over their daily routines, continuity in their care relationships, meaningful connection with others, and the ability to make choices that preserve their identity and their autonomy. Home care has become the central hub where all of these innovations converge. It is no longer just a supportive service, it is a transformative engine that drives modern aging. In many ways, home care has become the front line of longevity because it is the only care model that consistently touches the day-to-day behaviors that determine long-term outcomes. We are also experiencing major shifts that are reshaping the entire longevity landscape. First is demographic acceleration. So by 2030, every baby boomer will be over the age of 65. This is creating the largest aging population in the United States that we have ever seen. This demographic wave is not just about numbers. It represents a generation that is more informed, more vocal, and more determined to age on their own terms. Second is chronic condition complexity. These conditions don't remain static, they evolve. They fluctuate and interact with each other, which means they must be flexible, proactive, and deeply personalized with care. Third is the overwhelming preference for aging in place. More than 90% of older adults want to remain in their homes for as long as possible. But doing so safely is going to require innovation, care models that integrate technology, environmental support, and human connection. So aging in place is no longer simply a preference, it is a public health priority. And home care is the only model capable of delivering the daily stability required that even makes it possible. Because of these shifts, home care is evolving rapidly. It is moving away from a reactive task based service and it is becoming a proactive, preventative, and highly individualized longevity service. Modern home care focuses on early detection of decline, environmental optimization, cognitive support, emotional stability, and the preservation of independence as a measurable health outcome. It integrates data, observation, and personalized routines to prevent crisis before it occurs. In this new era of longevity, home care is not just about helping people live longer, it is helping them live better. And with more safety, more confidence, and more meaningful engagement to their lives. So, this is the foundation for everything we will explore in today's webinar. So, in today's longevity landscape, the independence we see is no longer just a lifestyle preference. It is recognized as a measurable clinical outcome and one of the strongest predictors of long term health. Research consistently predicts or measurable outcomes. Research consistently shows that when older adults maintain autonomy in their daily routines, they will experience lower hospitalization rates, stronger cognitive resilience, and greater emotional stability. Independence supports the micro behaviors that keep a person well: safe mobility, consistent medication, balanced nutrition, adequate hydration, restorative sleep, and meaningful social engagement. These small daily actions may be simple, but they do form the foundation of stability. Home care uniquely is positioned to reinforce those things. Because caregivers interact uniquely with clients in real time, their natural environment can help support these behaviors in ways that no other care model can, helping older adults preserve their identity, confidence, and sense of control. At the same time, quality of life has emerged as the new gold standard of aging successfully. It is no longer enough to focus solely on medical stability. Now we understand that emotional, cognitive, and social well being are equally essential to longevity. Quality of life encompasses several interconnected pillars. There is emotional stability, cognitive stimulation, social connectedness, and purpose driven routines. When any one of these pillars weakens, overall health outcome declines. Home care plays a transformative role here by creating predictable rhythms that reduce stress, offer meaningful interactions, and support emotional health, shaping environments that promote safety and cognitive clarity. Caregivers help to engage in familiar routines, maintain social ties, and participate in activities that bring joy and purpose, each of which contribute to stronger long term outcomes. This is why modern home care is increasingly viewed as a quality of life intervention, not just as a supportive service. By reinforcing independence and nurturing the full spectrum of well being, independence and home care is now elevating the aging experience and helping older adults thrive in the place where they feel most comfortable and most themselves in their home. This new era of longevity, quality of life is not a bonus, it is a benchmark, and home care is the model that makes it all achievable. One of the most important innovations in modern longevity is the shift toward personalized home care ecosystems, which move far beyond the traditional one size fits all model. For decades, home care was structured around standardized tasks and generalized routines. But today's aging population requires something far more nuanced. Older adults are living longer with diverse health histories, unique behavioral patterns, and deeply personal lifestyle preferences. This means that effective care must be individualized, adaptive, responsive to the person, not just the condition, not just the way that they're living. Modern home care integrates behavioral insights. It is engaging them with their own environment. These insights help identify early signs of cognitive change, emotional distress, or shifts in motivation that may impact safety or independence. And personalized ecosystems also rely heavily on patterns, which helps caregivers anticipate needs rather than simply responding to them. When we understand a client's long term trend, such as fluctuating mobility, chronic pain cycles, or medication sensitivities, we can build care plans that proactively support stability. This is especially important for clients managing multiple chronic conditions, where small changes may have significant downstream effects. By recognizing the patterns, caregivers can adjust routines, monitor subtle warning signs, and collaborate more effectively with healthcare providers. Equally important are lifestyle preferences, which shape how a person experiences their day and how they define quality of life. Whether someone prefers a quiet morning routine, enjoys cooking their own meals with light assistance, or thrives on social engagement, these preferences do matter. They influence mood, motivation, and overall well being. Personalized home care honors these preferences and integrates them into daily support, which reinforces a sense of identity and autonomy. Finally, personalized ecosystems do depend on adaptive care planning, which evolves as the client's needs evolve. Makes sense. Aging is dynamic. Health conditions change, cognitive abilities shift, and emotional needs will fluctuate. Adaptive care planning ensures that support is never static. Instead, it is going to adjust in real time. It is going to create a care model that grows with the individual. This approach is what transforms home care from a task based service into a living, responsive system that supports independence, safety, and quality of life in a deeply individualized way. It is one of the most powerful innovations driving longevity today. One of the most transformative shifts in modern home care is the rise of technology enabled independence. This is where digital tools and smart systems are no longer supplemental, they are foundational of how older adults safely age in place. Technology has become a quiet partner in the home, working behind the scenes on supporting stability, detecting early warning signs, and empowering caregivers to intervene before a crisis occurs. Today's home care environment integrates a wide range of advanced tools that strengthen independence by monitoring health patterns, reducing risk, and enhancing daily routines. For example, passive monitoring systems can track subtle changes in gait, sleep quality, or bathroom frequency, changes that often signal early mobility decline, dehydration, infection, cognitive shifts. These systems operate unobtrusively, allowing older adults to maintain privacy and autonomy while still benefiting from continuous oversight. Another major adaptive advancement is medication automation. So, which this is going to dramatically reduce medication errors. It's going to improve adherence to their medications. Automated dispensers are smart reminders. They have digital tracking systems that are going to help ensure medications are taken correctly and consistently, the right medications at the right time on the right days. Something that is also becoming increasingly important as clients manage multiple prescriptions or complex dosing schedules. So it's a great alternative. In addition to this, wearable devices have become really powerful tools for longevity. They can monitor heart rate, variability, hydration levels, oxygen saturation, and even fall risk. These wearables provide real-time data that help caregivers understand how a client is functioning on a day-to-day basis, not just during medical appointments. So when paired with AI-driven alerts, caregivers can be notified immediately when something does change, whether it is a sudden drop in mobility, a missed medication dose, or a pattern that suggests an illness could be emerging. Um, the true innovation, however, lies in how home care teams translate this data into actionable support. Technology alone cannot improve outcomes. Its value comes from how caregivers are interpreting the information and adjusting care plans accordingly. When caregivers receive early alerts, they can respond proactively, increase hydration support, they can adjust mobility routines, contacting the family or healthcare providers, or simply checking in to assess how the client is feeling. This proactive approach prevents small issues from becoming huge emergencies or developing into crisis like situations, which we really try to completely avoid. Um, it's going to reduce hospitalizations, strengthen independence, and give families a massive peace of mind. Technology enabled independence represents a new era of home care, one where digital tools and human compassion are going to begin to work together to create safer, smarter, and more responsive aging environments. Cognitive health is increasingly recognized as the most important pillar of longevity because it influences every aspect of an older adult's functioning, from decision making, emotional regulation, mobility, safety, social engagement. As we learn more of how the brain ages, it becomes clear that cognitive resilience is not just a matter of genetics. It is, or medical intervention, it is shaped by daily routines, environmental cues, and the quality of support a person receives at home. This is where home care is going to play a huge transformative role. Caregivers are going to be uniquely positioned to reinforce cognitive stability through structured routines. Um, this is going to help anchor someone's day to day and also help reduce their confusion, their anxiety, and their cognitive overload. Predictable rhythms are going to support executive functioning by giving the brain fewer variables to manage. And this allows clients to conserve mental energy for meaningful activities with the family. Home care also strengthens cognition through executive function support, such as helping clients plan tasks, sequence activities, managing time, and making decisions. These small interactions, like guiding someone through a morning routine or helping them organize medications, directly will support the brain's ability to process information and maintain independence. Memory cueing is another essential component. Caregivers use verbal reminders, visual prompts, labeling, environmental organization that is going to help clients recall important information and also navigate their home with confidence. Those cues are going to reduce frustration, reinforce neutral pathways that support memory retention. In addition to the caregivers incorporating cognitive stimulation, the activities are going to be put into daily interactions. So this could include conversation, puzzle, music, reading, reminiscing, engaging with clients, families, or hobbies with them. These activities activate different regions in the brain, and that supports neuroplasticity and slowing cognitive decline. Even simple engagement like discussing current events or encouraging a client to share stories can have measurable cognitive benefits. Environmental optimization is going to play a critical role in cognitive longevity. A well organized, clutter free, and clearly labeled environment reduces cognitive load. It prevents disorientation and supports safe navigation. Lighting and noise levels, layout all influence on how the brain is going to process that information. Innovation or innovative home care integrates brain health. It's science that turns into everyday interactions, creating a supportive ecosystem that protects cognitive function and preserves decision making capacity. By combining structured routines, memory support, stimulation, and environmental design, um, it's not just going to be a supportive science, but it's also going to be a science that intervenes ahead of time. Um, this approach is going to help older adults maintain clarity, confidence, autonomy for as long as possible, making cognitive longevity one of the most impactful innovations in aging today. So, emotional and social longevity have become central to modern aging because now we understand that emotional well being is not just a nice to have, it is a critical health determinant. In fact, loneliness is now considered as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And that statistic alone shows how deeply social isolation affects the body. It's going to increase inflammation, it's going to create weakness in the immune system, accelerate cognitive decline, it's going to raise the risk for hospitalizations. For older adults, especially those living with chronic conditions and mobility limitations, emotional and social stability can be the biggest difference between thriving at home and expecting a rapid decline. This is where home care plays a transformative role. Caregivers are able to provide consistent companionship, which creates a sense of safety, belonging, and it's human connection. These interactions help regulate mood, they reduce anxiety, and they reinforce a client's sense of identity and purpose. Home care also supports purpose driven engagement, which is essential for emotional longevity. Purpose is one of the strongest predictors of long term well being. When older adults participate in meaningful activities, whether it's cooking, gardening, reading, crafting, or sharing stories, they are activating emotional and cognitive pathways that are strengthening their resilience. Caregivers can facilitate these moments by encouraging hobbies, initiating conversation, creating opportunities for clients to stay mentally and emotionally engaged. Another powerful component is relationship continuity. Older adults thrive when they have stable, predictable relationships and with their caregivers. So the caregivers understand their history, they will understand their preferences, get to know their personality. This continuity builds trust, it reduces stress, it creates a supportive environment where clients feel seen and feel valued. In addition, home care enhances emotional and social longevity by supporting meaningful hobbies and facilitating community connection, whether it's helping a client attend a church service, participate in a senior center activity, or stay connected with family through technology. Caregivers play a vital role in keeping clients socially engaged. These connections reduce isolation and reinforce a sense of belonging, which directly impacts physical health and longevity. Emotional stability is not separate from physical well being, it is deeply intertwined. So, when older adults feel connected, purposeful, and supported, their immune function does improve, their cognitive health stabilizes, and their overall quality of life is going to rise. Innovative home care recognizes this and integrates emotional and social support into daily routines, making it a foundational pillar of modern longevity. So, environmental longevity is one of the most overlooked yet powerful innovations in modern aging. The home environment is not just a backdrop, it is a major determinant of health outcomes, safety, confidence, a long-term independence. Outcomes or as adults age, even the very small environmental barriers can become significant obstacles. They will increase fall risks, it will reduce their mobility, it'll create a cognitive overload as well. Innovative home care is going to recognize this and the environment that must evolve alongside the aging adult. And it's going to integrate environmental designs as a core component of longevity support. This is going to begin with safety optimization, which includes identifying hazards, improving lighting, reducing clutter, and ensuring that pathways are clear and intuitive. These adjustments may seem simple, but they are actually dramatically going to reduce a client from their home with greater ease and confidence. Another essential component is fall prevention mapping, a proactive approach that evaluates how a client navigates their space and identifies areas where falls are most likely to occur. So, caregivers observe movement patterns, they assess balance challenges, and recommend changes that support safer mobility, such as grab bars, non slip flooring, or rearranging the furniture. The mapping is especially important because falls remain one of the leading causes of hospitalization and long-term decline in older adults. In addition, modern home care increasingly incorporates smart home integration using technology to enhance safety and independence. Smart lighting, voice activated assistants, automated reminders, and sensor based alerts help clients manage daily tasks more easily while providing caregivers with valuable information about activity patterns and potential risks. Environmental longevity also includes adaptive equipment recommendations, which ensure that clients have the right tools to support mobility, comfort, and independence. This may involve walkers, shower chairs, raised toilet seats, or ergonomic utensils, each selected based on the client's unique needs and what their abilities are. When equipment is properly matched and introduced with supportive guidance, it can significantly improve confidence and reduce strain. Finally, caregivers use environmental cues for memory and orientation, especially for clients experiencing cognitive changes. Clear labeling, simplified layouts, contrasting colors, and visual prompts help clients navigate their home more easily, and it will reduce confusion. These cues are going to support cognitive stability and create a sense of familiarity and security. A well designed home is going to reduce risk and increase confidence. These are two essential components of independence. So, when the environment supports the client rather than challenges them, daily activities become safer, smoother, more empowering. Environmental longevity transforms the home into a therapeutic space. It's going to reinforce stability and enhance quality of life. It's one of the most impactful innovations in home care because it shapes the very foundation of how older adults live, move, thrive within their own environment. One of the most significant innovations in home care is the shift from a reactive model to a truly proactive health management approach. So, for decades, home care primarily responded to problems after they had occurred. And this has to do with falls, medication errors, dehydration, infections, or stubborn cognitive changes. Today, we understand that the key to longevity is anticipating these issues before they escalate. Um, Proactive home care is going to focus on early detection of decline, identifying subtle changes in mobility, mood, appetite, sleep, or cognition that often serves as a early warning sign. These shifts are going to seem insignificant, but they're actually most often going to be the first indicators that a client's health trajectory has changed. And when caregivers are able to recognize those patterns early, that is going to be where they can intervene quickly. And from there, they're going to be able to prevent complications that would otherwise lead to an emergency room visit for hospitalization. A major part of proactive health management is going to involve monitoring subtle behavioral changes. So, caregivers are going to observe how clients move through their day, whether they are walking more slowly, withdrawing socially, forgetting steps and familiar routines, or showing signs of fatigue or discomfort. These observations are incredibly valuable because they capture real time changes that medical providers cannot see during the day. These Whenever they go to a periodic medical appointment, those appointments are very quick. So they're not going to be able to notice these ongoing subtle changes unless you have somebody with your loved one that is able to watch and observe them. So when the caregivers are in the home and you might feel, I might not need this much care. I don't need 6 hours a day. Maybe I just need four. The 6 hours, it's always better to have more care than you think you need and then reduce safely under your agency's recommendations. The caregivers that are there are monitoring you, what you're doing, how you're doing, if you're excelling, if you're declining. They're watching for these cues. And this is a model that is going to emphasize coordinating with healthcare providers. It's going to help ensure that information is flowing smoothly between your home care team, your physicians, your therapists, and your other specialists. So when caregivers are able to communicate early concerns through observation, the providers can also adjust medications, order tests, or recommend interventions before a crisis develops. Proactive home care is also going to strengthen longevity by supporting preventative care routines. So, this is going to include encouraging hydration, balanced nutrition, mobility exercises, medication adherence, consistent sleep patterns. Preventative routines are going to be the backbone of stability. Caregivers are going to reinforce them daily. In addition to the proactive care, it's going to involve tracking hydration, nutrition, mobility trends. These trends are going to help caregivers identify your patterns. And if there's gradual weakness, decreased appetite, or reduced movement, those things are going to be noticed by your caregiver, and it could indicate to them emerging health issues. By understanding these trends, caregivers are able to adjust support, they are able to engage family members, and collaborate with providers to keep clients safe and stable. This proactive model is going to dramatically reduce emergency room visits, hospitalizations, and long term complications. It shifts home care from a service that reacts to decline in a system to a service that is going to actively prevent those crisis situations. It's proactive health management that is going to empower older adults to remain safer, get stronger, become more independent. It's making it one of the most impactful innovations in the future of longevity focused home care. So, for our veterans, veterans represent a very unique aging population with needs that differ significantly from the general public. And modern home care must be equipped to support these differences with precision and with compassion. Many veterans live with service related injuries, chronic musculoskeletal pain, or mobility limitations that require specialized support to maintain their independence. Others might experience PTSD or trauma related symptoms that can influence their sleep, their emotional regulation, social engagement, and their daily routines. So, cognitive impacts, whether related to what they've done in the military, can have cognitive impacts. And cognitive stress, chronic stress, or long term mental health conditions. This will also shape how veterans are going to process information, make decisions, navigate their environment. These factors make longevity support for veterans both complex and deeply meaningful. Innovative home care integrates trauma informed practices. It is going to ensure caregivers understand their triggers, they're communicating their preferences, and the importance of predictability and emotional safety. Structured routines here are going to help reduce their anxiety and support their cognitive clarity, while adaptive mobility strategies address chronic pain and physical limitations. Home care teams also align their support with VA connected care planning, ensuring veterans receive coordinated services, appropriate benefits, and continuity across all providers. So, by combining trauma informed care, structured daily rhythms, and VA aligned collaboration, home care becomes a powerful longevity tool for our veterans, helping them maintain their independence, their stability, and quality of life is a way that honors their service and supports their long term well being. Aging in place is not just a personal preference. It's one of the most financially impactful trends in modern aging. And this topic is going to be one of the most important ones out of this webinar. It's when older adults remain safely at home with the right support, families benefit from significantly lower long term costs. Home care is flexible, it is scalable. It is going to mean that individuals only are going to be paying for hours of assistance that they actually need. This alone creates substantial savings compared to an assisted living or a memory care, where costs there are going to be fixed and they will often increase with every level care of adjustment that comes as you decline. Beyond direct care costs, though, aging in place reduces healthcare spending. It is consistent support at home to have fewer falls, fewer emergency room visits, and better management of chronic conditions. Caregivers help with medication reminders, help with nutrition, support mobility, and also early detection of any other changes. So, all of this is going to prevent expensive medical crises. crises. These preventative benefits ripple outward, lowering costs for families, insurers, and government programs. Another major economic advantage is the ability to delay or avoid facility placement altogether. So, assisted living and memory care can range from about $9,000 a month or more, and nursing homes can exceed over 11,000 as well. So aging in place in your home with the right support is going to preserve your home's equity, giving families long-term financial stability and options for future planning. Aging in place, it creates value beyond the individual. It supports local home care agencies, it reduces strain on the hospitals, and it keeps older adults engaged in their communities. When people age at home, the economic benefits extend across families, healthcare systems, and the broader community, making aging in place both a compassionate and financially strategic approach to long term care. So, here is a real case study from a client that I had personally worked with. The case demonstrates how longevity focused home care can rebuild independence after a health setback. The client, a veteran, returned home after hospitalization with significant deconditioning. He was weak, unsteady, at high risk for falls, and this was a common pattern that often leads to rehospitalization or premature facility placement, which we completely try to avoid altogether. So the caregivers were introduced with micro movement routines, which are small, frequent mobility exercises proven to improve gait stability and reduce inflammation. These are just minor exercises that the his home care team can get from the facility he was in as a recommendation, specific exercises to help keep him as mobile as possible, building strength, more routine. They incorporated strength building into daily activities, standing from a chair without assistance, practicing safe transfers, and using short walks as functional therapy. So, this approach aligns with longevity science, which emphasizes consistency, low impact movement to rebuild strength. They also did medication adherence where they ensured he never missed a dose. This reduces the risk of him having complications in the future from medications. So, social engagement was also equally important here. The caregivers helped him reconnect with meaningful activities, which boosted his motivation and his emotional resilience. And for this client, after 10 weeks, his daily activity ended up increasing up to 40%. His gait became more stable and his risk of falls decreased dramatically. He regained confidence, independence, a sense of purpose. He This study specifically is showing how innovative home care can accelerate recovery. It prevents decline and it supports long-term health span. Another case study from a client that we also had. This one highlights how innovative home care transforms dementia outcomes. The client was experiencing escalating agitation, nighttime wandering, multiple ER visits, all signs that her system was in crisis. The family caregiver was completely overwhelmed. She was exhausted and had no idea how to continue to maintain her loved one's safety. Traditional approaches here just were not enough. They were exhausted. So, what we did was introduce structured home care and grounded modern dementia science. Everything changed here. So, caregivers were implementing neuroplasticity based engagement. This is simple, repetitive cognitive tasks that stimulated preserved neutral pathways. They established a predictable daily routine, which is one of the strongest stabilizers for dementia related behaviors. Nutrition support focused on hydration, healthy fats, and consistent meal timing, all of which improve cognitive stability. Technology did play a huge role in this one as well. A remote monitoring fall detection device provided nighttime safety without increasing caregiver burnout. And for her, within 12 weeks, agitation episodes dropped dramatically, ER visits stopped entirely, and the client's sleep and appetite improved. Most importantly, the family caregiver regained emotional and physical stability himself. And this study is showing how modern home care can prevent a crisis, reduce healthcare utilization, and it dramatically improves the quality of life, not just for the care recipient, but for the family member as well. Oh, so that is the end of our webinar for this month. I really want to thank you all for joining us in this webinar. Be sure to continue the conversation. If you want to talk more about someone you know that might be an advocate for getting someone set up for some home care services, you can reach out to your local second family office or if you're in Texas, always family office. And before we wrap up today's session, I do want to give you a preview of our September webinar. As we move forward toward fall, many older adults experience what we call seasonal decline. And this is subtle but important changes in mobility, balance, mood, and daily functioning as we head into September, October, November, December. The shorter daylight hours, the cooler temperatures, and shifts in routines can all contribute to an increased fall risk and decreased stability. And we always see a higher chance for somebody to be admitted into the hospital in these coming months. So on September 10th at 1 p.m., we are going to dive into practical fall-focused safety strategies that families and caregivers can use to keep older adults strong, confident, and independent throughout the season. We're going to talk about mobility routines, home environment adjustments, and preventative steps that reduce avoidable hospitalizations and support aging in place during those cooler months. It is a timely, high-valued session that is going to be designed to help you prepare before seasonal changes begin. So the registration link will be sent out in a few weeks, and we hope to have you with us in it. This is just a reminder to check out our YouTube channel. This is where all of our webinars are available for families to access at any time. We record them, post them on YouTube. These recordings offer helpful education and guidance on topics like dementia care, caregiver burnout, home safety strategies, and so much more. It's going to be a great resource to share with anyone who may benefit from additional support. And in true YouTuber fashion, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Second Family Home Health. Again, I want to thank you all for being here today, and I would like to take a minute to open the floor to any